What's up? This is the punk rock ragdoll, Heidi Lovelace, and you currently, right this very second, are listening to This Is Awesome, and it really is Wrestling Show.
Produced by the Cleveland Sound Radio Network. Here is the This Is Awesome Wrestling Show, hosted by Glenn Moore and Steve Guy.
Welcome. This is Awesome Wrestling Show here on SealySound.com. www.thisisawesomewrestlingshow.com is the website. Check us out. New website is up. We have stories up there. All our past shows, interviews are posted as well. So you can head over there and listen to all the past shows, interviews, and be a part of the show and engage with us in the comment section of each post. This is AwesomeWrestlingShow.com. Follow us on Twitter at TIA Wrestling and also Instagram, TIA Wrestling. And we're also on Facebook. So we are connected to you via website and social media. Our guest this week is the lovely, well, not lovely, she is the punk rock ragdoll. She is Heidi Lovelace. She is our guest this week on the This Is Awesome Wrestling Show. Had a great conversation with her at our past AIW event, so that is our interview, and we'll get to her momentarily. Next week, we'll have Tyson Dukes on the show, our interview with Tyson, also from AIW, so look forward to that. And like I said, go back to our past interviews. We have some great interviews with some indie stars, with some WWE stars, TNA, Ring of Honor. We hit them up. We hit up all the promotions when we have interviews and people on the show. So make sure to head up. This is AwesomeWrestlingShow.com. Fastlane was this past weekend. We're going to get into that. We're going to talk about Raw as well as the return of Shane McMahon. But first, Steve and I were both at Fastlane this past Sunday here in Cleveland, Ohio. NXT will be here in 11 days, 10 days as well with their show. So wrestling running rampant here in Cleveland, along with AIW having an event as well on March 5th. But Fastlane was great. Like I said, Steve and I were both close to the ring. The show was lackluster, but I think the experience was cool just because we both had pretty good seats, Steve.
Yeah, the seats were pretty excellent.
Yeah.
There was this guy behind me who said he got his tickets from Mark Henry, and he would not stop talking.
Yeah.
And of course, I was there with John Thorne, AIW, and as soon as John told him he was a wrestling promoter, he just continuously talked to us. But you're right, the show overall, I think what killed the show was, and I hate saying this, the Edge and Christian segment, and then for the nonsensical match of Social Outcast and R-Truth.
That happened because
They just needed fill time, I'm guessing.
Yeah, the other matches and then the Edge and Christian segment, they ran very, very short.
Yeah.
And they needed a throw match, and that match was not even going to happen. They actually went back and grabbed everybody involved and said, go out there, you have X amount of time.
And we all kind of knew that, having sat there, but it was just, yeah, unfortunately, you do something like that, and it's like, okay, well, what's the purpose of that?
Yeah.
And its placement, right?
Semi-main event.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, couldn't you have asked one of the other guys, once you realized some of the matches went short, couldn't you have asked another match to be like, hey, guys, go a little bit long or something?
Well, when you want to have higher ups and kind of shape storylines and everything with a semi-main event, you want to throw something out there. You can just throw it together. If you're going to have someone else that's not involved, that is a little bit higher up on the card, other than Social Outcasts and R-Truth, you kind of gotta build something. So it takes a little longer for them to come up with something and come up with a match and get an agent. With R-Truth and Social Outcasts, there's no outcome. There's no meaning for it. So you can just throw it out there and just say, "Hey, do your thing," and then that's it.
But no, I'm saying, you have a guy like, that Social Outcast R-Truth was like 5 minutes maybe. So I'm just thinking a little bit here, a little bit there. If you go to AJ Styles and Jericho, guys who are pretty familiar with each other and long-time ring veterans. You say, hey, guys, need you to go an extra 3 minutes. You know, that's all I'm thinking. It's like, couldn't you have done that at some point?
Well, that was early in the show, so you don't really know. No, it was...
Or was the girls?
It was Styles and Jericho.
It was,
then they
okay.
had... so then before that was Charlotte and Brie.
Right before those, yeah.
But, you know, even Jericho and Styles went 16 minutes. Brie...
Did Brie legitimately get hurt? Did something pop in her knee? That was my other thought, too, was like, because that was such an awkward ending.
No, that was part of the work.
That was?
Yeah, because she had her in her own submission hold. She couldn't keep her in because her knee was hurting because of earlier. So she was just playing the injury.
Okay. But I didn't know if it was one of those deals where, she was playing the injury, but then like, hey, there was really a problem, so we need to end this now.
Well, the two matches that went short that needed a reason to bring in Axel and R-Truth was Becky Lynch and Sasha's match went 9:50, and then the Wyatt match went 10:37. So that's only 20 minutes for two matches. So then you had to throw out Axel and R-Truth, which that match lasted 2:23, and then you had them talking for a little bit too. So that probably was like 5-6 minutes. So you probably could have given Sasha and Becky some time beginning of the show, but that match didn't really do anything for me.
Yeah, unfortunately, the two best wrestlers were on the same team there. So what could they really do?
And then Reigns and Ambrose and Lesnar went 16:04. I was right behind, first row behind Saxton, and I never had these seats before. So it was seats to where they prepped for the tables collapsing because I was sitting right behind. And a good 5 minutes before they actually did the spot, you can see the guys, like the announcers, and they had some producers take like the stuff from underneath and like rip it bare and get it prepped ready.
So you're not falling on anything?
So and you kind of knew. Like you saw Saxton, he had a bunch of notes, and then all together, and then get ready to back away. That was pretty cool to see up close because you don't see that on TV. But other than that, it was a fun night. Seeing the King, who did pre-show, and having dinner with Ric Flair and Jerry King Lawler at the hotel. It was very interesting because Flair was pissed drunk, absolutely hammered, eating hummus.
This is before or after the show?
This is after.
Okay.
After, and Charlotte was with us too. So that was pretty cool. Pretty cool experience for the night. So
it was funny sitting with Thorne during the Owens Ziggler match, and as we know, Thorne and Owens are still great friends. That's who we got the tickets from. And then Thorne goes, I don't know who to pick. I actually like both of these guys. Yeah. Like, oh, there you go. The problem with being a wrestling promoter is, you want to cheer for the hometown guy, but the other one's your buddy, and you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, just hope they don't get hurt.
Yeah.
But other than that, it was the storylines didn't progress, and even when we go into Raw, where it's kind of predictable some of the matches that are going to happen, we kind of knew what we talked about it before. Reigns possibly winning, and then going to WrestleMania, and also we talked about Owens possibly being a champion, which is kind of surprising. Owens still the champion going to WrestleMania because I thought something would bigger be for him. But really, some of the top mid-carders, there's nothing for them. There's not even a storyline.
Yeah, the only thing we did, we concluded the AJ Styles Jericho storyline, which is good. Obviously, that needed an ending. We need to end that. But then you're right. Now where do you go?
Yeah.
Owens Ziggler, good match. I think that was the theme of Fastlane. There were some fun and good, entertaining matches, but from the storyline standpoint, you're absolutely right. Where do we go from here? Roman Reigns, that was obvious. He's going to take on Triple H. Do you like this idea that they're building Ambrose Lesnar?
I think it'd be a good match, but I mean, you have who's going to be the back? I mean, you have Lesnar attacking him cheaply, and then you have Ambrose is obviously a good guy.
Yeah,
it is just because of Lesnar being upset that Ambrose was part of the match, and Lesnar didn't win.
Well, and because Ambrose bashed him with the chair so many times,
Well,
which
yeah.
took him out of the match.
Yeah, but it's, he did the Reigns too. So I mean, it's
Right.
not like he singled out Lesnar.
Yeah, he hit Lesnar definitely more than Reigns.
Well, are we going to be counting?
But
Are we going to count chair shots?
We count suplexes. Why not? I'm just saying for people who are like, oh, he hit Reigns once and he got to spear him. Well, yeah, I think that's the point that people are missing. Sometimes there are nuances and details you need to pay attention to. He hit Reigns once, maybe twice, and he just destroyed Lesnar with the chair.
Well, I mean, I don't think that's. If you think of a storyline, I don't think they're like, oh, you hit me twice more with the chair than Reigns. I mean, that's
it was
idiotic.
My point is way more than twice. So that's the point to this, is that Lesnar was singled out, especially by Ambrose. I thought that the Wyatts were going to cost Lesnar the match. I was happy they didn't because I liked the match, and I think that would have ruined it. But again, back to the storyline standpoint, yeah, you got two faces. Everybody loves Ambrose. People love Lesnar. I mean,
I think you just have a great match, and
it'll be fun and entertaining as hell. That's for sure.
well, I hope so. But the way that's being booked is Ambrose can't get nothing. Is the underdog. It's kind of like a Daniel Bryan situation where he can't get one up on Lesnar one-on-one. It's Lesnar dominating, which I think the way it should be.
Yeah,
I think you should have two guys taking out Lesnar and going after him and then fighting like they did with Ambrose and Reigns. But if you're going to have one-on-one, it's like Ambrose goes to the hospital, then he's driving the ambulance back, and we sit here and say, well, pro wrestling isn't real, and why would someone want to let him drive an ambulance? Is he stealing an ambulance? Shouldn't he be in jail
for the second time in his life?
Yeah, so it's wrestling. That's what happens. But we'll see. There's 6 weeks left to see what happens between these two. 6 weeks left for Reigns and Triple H. You get me excited about that because one-on-one without any outside, could The Rock be in the corner of Reigns? Could Vince be a part of the main event? I mean, Vince is being with Shane Undertaker as of right now.
Will Daniel Bryan be a special guest referee?
No, Bryan's not going to.
The Reigns, no, not Reigns, Ambrose Lesnar, they did say last night it was going to be a street fight.
Yeah.
So at least there's, I guess, the believability, okay, this is Ambrose's chance to win, is that he can use weaponry, right? And anything goes.
Yeah, and they'll probably fight over,
Yeah.
all around on the ring. So looking forward to that. So, all right, that was our Fastlane ending. We're going to go to our interview. We're going to come back. We're going to talk Shane McMahon returning on Raw after he's been gone since 2007, I believe. 2007?
Yeah, 6 or 7
I think it was
years?
7. So that was 9.
9 years?
9 years since he's been back in the WWE and might be taking on the Undertaker in Hell in the Cell. Still 6 weeks left to see what happens with that. But he has returned, got a huge pop in Detroit. We're going to talk about that and more. But first, our interview with Heidi Lovelace, a girl here in AIW, one of the talented women's wrestlers in the country, in the world, has competed in Ring of Honor. Like I said, here in AIW, she's wrestled the likes of Taylor Hendricks, Veda Scott. So she's very young too. Her career is starting to take off a little bit. So we chat with her about her career and just shooting the shit with Heidi Lovelace here on the This Is Awesome Wrestling Show. Welcome back. This is Awesome Wrestling Show here on SteelySound.com. I want to welcome in the AIW Women's Champion. She is a youngin' in the wrestling business, still making her name, but has done a lot. Heidi Lovelace, the punk rock ragdoll. How'd you come up with that?
Nice intro, bro. Nice
Thank
intro.
you.
I'm gonna
Thank
give
you.
you some kudos first.
Thank you.
'Cause that was impressive. The punk rock ragdoll. I was. If anybody, please don't. I'm asking you, please don't. If anybody checks out any of my really early shit, when I first started, I was the vintage vixen. It was awful.
Look that up
Everything
right
I
now.
did was awful. And
Did you buy all your gear from Hot Topic?
I didn't. I got like made stuff that had like I wanted to be like the Rosie the Riveter type situation, and it just I yelled too much for all that shit.
Okay.
And then I saw Thunder Kitty do it, and I was like, "Pff, I gotta go back to the drawing board. This girl just owns it. But the punk rock ragdoll, I love anything punk rock, Misfits, Ramones, all that good stuff. And then the ragdoll thing kind of came to me because very early on, and still, everybody always used to say to me when I came back from my matches, "Oh my God, he threw you around like a ragdoll."
Yeah.
And like it was a constant thing, and I was like, "Why not just own this? I
There
can
you
get some
go.
cool gear designs out of it, and we'll see where it takes us." And that's where it's been.
I want to ask you first about intergender wrestling, because you have held some titles. Currently hold a title that is held prominently by men, and you've won some titles that have won only by men. So you have dabbled in intergender. You know, WWE is kind of shying away from that, but it's, watching indie the past year, it's really catching on. There's some great matches. It's not the Divas kind of match where it's like, oh, it's realistic matches. Do you think that, on a bigger stage like WWE, that we will see the kind of matches you put on in WWE, or is that kind of thing that's probably a taboo to them?
To me, right now, it's in my opinion, and this may differ from a lot of people, but in my opinion, I feel like eventually, in the very, very far future, we could get there.
Yeah.
I think that the evolution of women's roles in wrestling is slowly evolving right now with the Divas Revolution and everything that we've got going on right now, and how amazing and all the awesome matches that are being put on by the women's division up there right now. And now no longer are they the popcorn matches. Like they're the matches that people want to see.
Right.
So that evolution is just steps to me towards something bigger, something greater, and I think we have to ease people into it. If we just showed him intergender tomorrow, I think we would get a lot of people shitting all over it, which is understandable. It's something new. It's something that could be considered taboo. I think if we weaned people into it, we had the right people doing it, I feel like it could be something awesome that could be, but we have to do it baby steps to get there. In my personal opinion, is how I feel like it can be done. It may not even happen in the term of my career, but to say that I was even a part of making that known to even the independents is pretty cool.
And I feel like also back when, Divas, if you look good, they fast track trained you to be a wrestler, so you can, actually do some stuff in the ring, but you're really there because you look good.
Right.
And now at the indie scene, it's catching on indies, intergender, but also just, great women's matches.
Yeah.
And now you're going to see, Charlotte Flair, Sasha Banks, girls that have done the indie scene and now they're making their way to WWE NXT. It's carrying over from actual trained professional wrestlers, not just because you have an ass and boobs. It's because you are actually athletic and good in the ring.
Yeah.
It's going to. I think you're right. It's going to take some years for that to flow in and have a full roster of just those girls.
Absolutely, it's good to see, especially with a lot of women that I've competed with in the past. Really making their rise and making their stage. I'm nothing but happy for them with that. And I really feel like, especially with Sarah down there, really giving the girls all the necessary tools that they need to show everyone what women's wrestling is actually about. It's a really cool thing, and it's a really cool thing to be a part of.
Yeah.
And one female down there, you actually won the AIW title off of.
I did. Athena. I love you, girl.
So that's got to be a little extra special, right?
It was a good feeling to be one of her last matches.
Yeah.
She put in work that night. She wrestled Candace and me in the same night within the same 40-minute time.
It was
span.
right after each other.
That girl could go, and kudos to her, because honestly, there's a lot of people that could have just been like, listen, I just got signed, so I don't want to do anything because I don't want to get hurt.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna go ahead and
breeze through it.
yeah, let's just take it easy tonight.
Yeah.
But she was just like, no, I'm going out with a bang.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm gonna make sure everybody's getting their shit, and I was excited about it, and I was happy to be one of her last matches. I'm happy for her. I hope she really goes far.
Yeah.
With the differences between the intergender matches and then just a female match, as we were talking about, bringing females. I don't know if you want to say equality is a good term, but I guess just equal eyes in the fans and the critics. Do you think that it's an amazing intergender that really puts the males and the females in the same light, or is it fantastic, just straight female matches, night in and night out, on a large stage like the WWE? You know what I mean?
Not
Like,
really.
does it? Okay, so for people to finally go like, wow, yeah, women can really go.
Yeah.
Is it an intergender match that has to happen to prove that?
Oh, okay.
Or is it consistent, fantastic women's matches?
I think it could be either or. To me, a lot of people ask me about like my opinion on intergender, and I mean, obviously I'm pro. But like to me, honestly, there are different categories of professional wrestling, and I put intergender in one of those categories, along with death matches, along with Japanese, Memphis, English, Lucha Libre, all that stuff. I feel like it's what makes our profession so diverse, and it makes it so amazing because there's a certain crowd for everything.
Yeah.
Like
You know
film
what I mean?
genres.
There's always, and when it's done right and in front of the right crowd, it can always be enjoyable. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things for me. I feel like to really be put on a level, you don't necessarily have to wrestle men. You don't necessarily, that was just the path that I chose. But I know a lot of women who strictly wrestle women and are incredible athletes. I feel like it's just being a well-rounded competitor to where you can step in the ring with anybody from any kind of style. Anybody, like you can walk into a ring with with a luchador and be able to hang, and you can walk in a ring with a Japanese fighter and just be able to hang. Like a well-rounded competitor is really, to me, what is like the ultimate wrestler.
So funny because we were talking to Tyson Dukes earlier, and he was going through his career and realized that he's kind of that person. He's like, maybe that's what hurt me.
Yeah.
It's because he wasn't one direction. But
Yeah, but he's one of those guys. He can go with anybody.
Oh, yeah.
He can
Yeah.
and that's what I think is the key to just consistently having good matches. You can have good matches with somebody who's the same style as you all day long, but if you have to challenge yourself constantly, and that's what I like to do, and that was one of the reasons I started Intergender. It was a challenge to myself. That's one of the reasons I did a death match.
Yeah.
It's because it was a challenge to myself consistently to be able to hang with whoever I stepped in the ring with.
Now, last year at Girls Night Out here at AIW, I was setting up for podcasting because we come here every AIW show, and I know the girls' locker room before the event started, and it was you had Athena, Crazy Mary Dobson, Taylor Hendricks, you had Candice LeRae, and I'm sorry if I missed someone, but
Tessa Blanchard.
yeah,
was here.
the roster is off the charts. The talent that was in this room, and do you girls as a group? I probably don't ponder it that much, but mention hey, this could be an XTWB locker room, the talent of women's wrestling that's right here in a church cafeteria here in a random street in Cleveland, Ohio.
The next revolution, so to speak.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
I don't know if I don't really necessarily think we've ever had conversations
Yeah.
about it. But I can't say that personally it hasn't gone through my head, especially with a lot of my peers, both male and female, getting signed.
Yeah.
To hear stories about, I hear stories from people who knew Claudio and Sarah and Samurai del Sol and everybody who has gotten signed, and tell stories about old IWA Mid-South locker rooms and different locker rooms like that, and to hear those stories and to be able to think about, okay, well now they're on this crazy different stage. How different is that going to be for me in 5 years or so? I'm going to be able to tell those stories, even if it's not myself that has gotten signed or whatever.
Yeah.
Knock on wood. Hopefully, maybe one day. But even if it's not myself, I'll be able to tell those stories for I had these experiences with these people who have gone on to do such amazing things. So I've thought about it a lot, and it's a cool feeling to feel like we're just in the process. We're just on the road.
In your young but already very experienced career, someone who's maybe listening to this for the first time, hearing the name Heidi Lovelace, or has heard it and wondered, I need to watch her. Is there a match that stands out to you? This is what I'm about.
Oh, okay. Well, probably, and I hate it. Probably a match that really embodies my character and who I am, and probably one of my favorite matches to date. I will never put him over to his face, but one of my favorite matches to date was my match, I believe it was maybe 2 years ago. It was for a company when Chikara was all of those different, like Wrestling Is promotions, and it was Wrestling Is Heart. And it was when I had a one-on-one match with Eddie Kingston.
I knew you were going to say that.
It's one of my favorites. It's one of the build, yeah.
And we're waiting for the run-in.
Yeah.
The moment you said, I can never say this to his face, I was like, oh, I know who this is.
Yeah, it's just, it really, honestly, like, the story that that was told and everything, like, it really truly embodies me as the underdog. That's basically what my story has been, is I'm just fighting out from underneath. And that's what I had to do with somebody like him. And I really, really love that match. And it's on the internet. YouTube it if you haven't seen it yet and whatever, but it's definitely probably top 5 of my career so far. But yeah.
Still young career too.
Yeah. I'm 5.5 years in. Feel 85 years old.
That's not good, because in 5 years you're going to be 30.
Oh my
how old
God!
Are you
Don't do that math for her.
Oh, that's terrible.
My God, there's a lady
I'll
sitting
be
in front
10
of us.
years in at 30 years old, and I will probably be a pile.
grizzled
I'll be a pile
veteran.
of dust. I'll be a pile of dust.
No,
I won't
won't.
make it. Oh man, I will be a pile of dust.
How does telling that underdog story change when you come to a promotion like AIW where you're the champion?
To be honest, I don't even necessarily feel like it changes. Although I am the champion, it doesn't mean that I don't struggle to keep my championship. It's just the only thing that keeps it is probably my heart. And that's something I have in spades. And that's the one thing that I use to try and relate to my fans. Is the heart, and is the need to get back up. I've always just tried to explain it. I'm pretty much the Rocky Balboa of women's wrestling.
Hey, yo. You are, I don't, comparing girl wrestlers because everybody's unique, but, the character-wise, we've seen the Barbie cutouts, but with you, I can kind of compare you to the anti-diva, kind of a Paige. The dark side of a diva. You like that, right?
It's the punk rock sign.
I love Paige. She's awesome.
Yeah.
So,
but you liked having that kind of moniker. Like, person looks at you for the first time, like, okay, I see a girl with blonde hair, tan.
Yeah.
But then look at you, like, you're good looking and everything, but you also have this little dark side to you.
Yeah. No, I am very much about trying to be as unique as I possibly can. If everybody has long hair, odds are I'm going to chop all mine off. Not the only reason. Most of the time, it's just because I have OCD with my hair and I just chop it off all the time. But the most of the time, the way I do my hair and the way I present myself, it's just to try and stand out. Like, my gear is like the shorts, like the Zack Ryder thing. Like, the reason I have that is because nobody else does. Yeah. In a business where it's so important to try and stand out, and in a business where you have so many beautiful women that are very, very attractive, but that tend to look a little cookie cutter. My goal is to just look different and look like I should be taken seriously.
It's also, it sounds really corny and cheesy.
You're good.
But it's also a great, I guess, role model-esque kind of thing to have. Because you're like, hey, I'm going against the grain, and you look at this AIW show, and there are kids that come to this, there are young girls that come to this, and I've seen them a handful of times come up and hug you, and it's like, dare to be different, and you could still create your own path, but be on the same one as everybody else.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, because that is a big part of my gimmick, and a big part. The ragdoll thing actually is also similar to, aside from me getting the living shit kicked out of me, the ragdoll gimmick is very much so like the anti-Barbie, basically. I've always wanted to be a role model for young kids. That was one of the reasons I loved Chikara so much, is because I had so many fans, and I had so many young little girls that looked up to me, and I never want to be looked at and have a little girl go, oh, well, she's wearing, revealing clothing, so maybe that's the way I should do this. Like, I want to be able to be somebody that they can look up to and know that it's okay to look the way you do.
Yeah.
It's okay to be different. It's okay to be unique, because that's what makes you you. As corny as all of that sounds, it's been a big part of my gimmick, and hence why in any wrestling ring that you've seen me in probably within the last 5 years, you don't see me try and do anything sexy, because for one, I don't like to portray that message. For two, I would look so awkward if I tried to. I would be the most unattractive, like, not sexy person that you could possibly imagine.
While you say that, let me show you something that pops up when I try to look for vintage Vixen.
No.
A lot of things.
No, don't show it to
this
me.
is from Girls Night Out last year, right here in the same gym.
See, she did that. Taylor Hendricks kissed me, and it was
Taylor Hendricks trying to kiss Heidi in the ring.
Not trying.
And
she's there.
She's doing
she's
it.
kissing me.
And you do look awkward as all hell. Like,
I do look
going
awkward.
on
I
here?
don't know what do I do with that. Like, she had a lot of lipstick on. I don't know if she's trying to slip me a tongue. It was weird. It was a weird thing. It was a weird thing. She likes to kiss people, and she's one of those girls. She's gorgeous, and she's very attractive, and she's very good at doing the sexy thing.
Yeah.
I, however, am really awkward. I'm pretty sure that my underwear is hanging out in this picture, and it's not sexy. It's like that awkward, like, little girl tucked her skirt into her underwear type situation that's happening in this picture. And so I'm pretty sure, yep, super awkward.
I don't look that far.
For everybody who's
hilarious.
listening, Google. Let's see.
Honestly, just
tag?
Google vintage Vixen Heidi Lovelace.
Oh,
There
it's
you go.
so
One of
bad.
the pictures that
That's
shows
I don't
up.
know why that shows up, but like in any older, like they're probably hard to hunt down, but
It's funny
just
because
bad.
from afar, I thought that was part of your pants.
Oh no!
I'm
no,
sorry.
No,
Boy.
it's all right. No,
Well, people
I'll
are gonna
gladly
Google it
admit how
now.
awkward I am. I will gladly
can't miss
admit
the
that I'm an
picture.
awkward human being.
Here's a great one.
Oh, there. Yep, I'm on a
Train
railroad tracks. That was before.
You're the wrong side of the tracks.
Yeah,
dude.
I don't. Yeah, I was trying to look tough. I just look high. I don't know. But like, yeah, that was around the time where I was really in that photo shoot in particular. It was a one in Florida. I was trying to find myself, and I was trying to look after, like, all these girls are selling all these 8x10s, and they're looking real, like, sexy and stuff. And I was trying to do that, and then after I did that, I was just like, this is not me.
Awkward.
I don't like this. I look awkward. I feel awkward. I don't want to do this
She's got
anymore.
the fishnet stockings.
Yeah,
on.
I tried. I think I was wearing like a shirt that said like something metal, and it had a raccoon on it or something. It's just,
Those go together.
yeah, that's a thing. I don't know.
There
I
you
don't
go.
know what I'm doing with my life.
Let's
Shit.
get to know you because
That's what we're doing.
true.
You're getting to know me.
As of recording this podcast, yesterday you had a Ask Me Anything on Reddit.
Yeah.
Your first one.
I didn't even know how the hell to do that, to be honest with you.
People
I
ask
was
you
I was
questions, you
emailing the
answer.
dude
Yeah.
left and right, like, what the fuck? What button do I push?
Yeah.
Like, I'm also technologically challenged, if that is also a thing you can learn about me.
But you answered a lot of questions about yourself and obviously your career. I do like how people want you to your worst match. They want to know and for you to put names out there, like
that's
you're really
not
going to do it.
happening. That's not happening, but it's okay.
But we talked before we went on the air. Devil's Rejects,
Hell yeah.
one of my favorite movies of all time.
Hell yeah.
So you're into kind of the horror genre.
Yeah, it's weird though. I love horror movies.
Yeah.
I love horror movies. Anything directed by Rob Zombie, I am all about it. But if you ever take me to a horror movie at home or in the theaters or whatever, I am probably the loudest person
Are
in
you
the movie.
screeching?
I am the jumpiest bitch.
Oh, man.
Like, I legitimately, I'm not kidding. I can't go to haunted houses. I can't do it. I can't.
Those were
'Cause
fun.
They scare the crap out of
So
me. I can't.
there's quintessential girly girl side
it's
to
not.
Heidi.
I just.
Yeah.
I don't like stuff jumping out at me, man. I want to
that's
punch
great.
it. Like, I feel like I'm gonna knock somebody out.
So what if you're walking through in a bat?
Yeah. Oh my God! Don't even say those words. Don't even
You put
say
it
that.
out there. You
That's
put it out there.
blasphemy. Get out of here.
I kind of want to take you to a haunted house.
Yeah.
No.
Just so that, because I don't like when they jump in. It doesn't scare me when they jump
freaks
out.
me out.
It's
I'm
just
so
annoying
loud. I
because sometimes
scream.
they get too close to you. It's like, come on, man.
Get out of my face.
So I want you to go with me, and I just want to watch you punch them.
I'm gonna punch him in the
instead.
face. It just they freak me out, man.
Because none of them are going to be like, this girl punched me in the face. Like,
yeah,
if
they'll
someone's,
all
"What
relay it to
happened?"
each other, and for the rest of the haunted house, nobody will jump out at me.
If I'm in a storyline with you,
Okay.
we're wrestling in a haunted house.
No, we're fucking not.
We're setting the ring up in the haunted house.
No.
Uh-oh.
Get out of
Zombie.
here.
Oh boy, here we
No,
go.
I don't
go.
like. I
Here
don't.
comes the
Oh,
run-in.
no,
No,
here
no.
it comes.
No. Get
Do we
away.
have a sound effect for Eddie Kingston yet?
We don't.
I think it should be a toilet flushing.
Yeah, see?
That was
I'm-
actually that wasn't bad. That was your.
yeah,
was
that was
quick.
more
funny.
directed towards you. So
That wasn't
there
me.
you go.
That's
That's
me,
Glenn.
yeah. Oh, okay.
I think it's
Yeah.
Glenn. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I can do haunted houses. I'm the loudest person in the movie theater. I'm also that person that's like, oh my God, don't go in there. Don't go in there.
Yeah.
Don't. No. And I'm just yelling at her like she's going to listen to me.
Don't
but
say
she
names.
Never does.
Don't say names because they'll. I used to work in a haunted house.
Oh, okay.
So I know all about the secrets. You say
I
someone's
don't see-
name, repeat the name, scare them. So don't say
No.
don't say who your name is. when you're
I
in
just
there.
I can't
Yeah.
I can't do it. I cannot do it. But I love scary movies.
Oh, yeah.
Is that weird? Like it's weird. But I'm just loud at them. But Devil's Rejects is my all-time favorite movie ever.
What is your favorite cheat meal?
My favorite cheat meal. Okay, so here's the thing. I have a small obsession with two things.
Please
Okay.
say Taco Bell.
No, unfortunately.
Damn.
This is almost nobody's cheat meal ever because
Okay.
everyone hates it. But for one, my first one, cookies of any kind. I love cookies.
Okay.
I don't have to cook them, which, fun fact, I can't cook. I can't.
Okay.
I burn ramen noodles. Like, it happens. Cookies, all-time favorite. And McDonald's chicken nuggets and french fries
Oh
all
Yeah.
day.
How big
all
do you
day.
go? How big do you go?
20 piece, bro.
Oh,
20 piece.
$5, right?
20
What about when they
piece.
got that? Was it 50
Bruh.
for $5 at one point?
50?
Remember that?
Get out of here.
Remember that?
Yeah, it was like
You'd let me
50
know where
with
that's
like
at.
2
I'll
Or
pick that up.
fries.
$10 or something. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll
it
pick
was
that
like-
up.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's my
yeah.
favorite thing.
It's a little special.
It's
they
my
had going.
favorite thing. It's starting to become like a well-known thing that if like I'm in a bad mood and I'm on my way home from a show, like people that I ride with, I'll be like, well, we got to stop at McDonald's so we can make Happy Heidi so that I can go and get chicken nuggets and french fries because that puts me in a good mood every time.
What's your favorite sauce?
I don't do sauce. Ever.
Me either. High
Ever.
five.
Yes. High five for no sauce.
Honey mustard.
Fuck sauce. Get out of here
No.
with your
Honey
honey
mustard.
mustard.
Ain't no
Shit.
sauce
You
needed.
bland?
Is
and
that-
bland?
Is
Bla-
that
is there
drinking
any
a-
bla- is there nothing bland? You
Just
just
drinking a Red's apple ale, by the way.
probably.
Yeah. What kind of well? Yeah.
You love
What kind of
Red's apple.
guy from Queens drinks?
I don't want to.
Or
I
Bronx?
don't
Where's
want
he
to talk.
from?
We don't want him
he's,
in here.
He's from Yonkers.
Yeah.
Oh
Yonkers.
God, he's
All right, we're not talking about
derailed.
it.
If you, this is a dream scenario,
Okay.
not wrestling related.
Okay. Good.
Uh,
I love this. This is fun.
not sex related. Listeners, get your mind out of the gutter.
No, get out of here.
You get
Steve
to
is known for this.
you get to play
Okay.
with any punk rock band
I get to
for
play
one
with them.
song, anyone that you want in history,
Okay. In history?
in the history. And so, what do you play and what song?
Oh my
And with
god.
who?
Oh my god. That's,
Maybe you're terrible on an instrument and you're just playing the tambourine. I don't care. That's fine.
Yeah, probably.
what
I'm
song-
just
what
gonna
band
be
song?
on stage because I lack
That's
any
fair.
musical ability. I used to sing when I was younger. Like I used to be in musicals and stuff,
Hmm.
but I can't sing like actual stuff. Actually, funny story that you asked
Can you
that
give
you
us a
say
sample?
that. No, I'm not singing. Get the
Yeah.
I haven't sang in years.
Just a sample.
No, I'm not
We
singing.
once
for
had
you.
Frankie Flynn.
Yeah.
Frankie Flynn
sing a
probably
song
can sing.
to
He
Leva
gave me a
Bates.
rose one time and I kicked him in the face.
He
So
sang
I would
to
too.
Leva Bates. We made him.
here's the
serenade her.
thing. Funny story that you say this.
Yes.
One of all time, probably ever, if I got to, it would be Die Die My Darling with the Misfits. And I wouldn't do anything in particular. I would just be running
Just
around
just jump
stage
up and down.
and jumping up and down.
There you go.
Perfect.
But recently, I went to WrestlePalooza out in Minneapolis.
Yeah.
And it's like my favorite thing that's ever happened, ever. It's for the first wrestling or whatever out there. And it's literally burlesque, punk rock, and wrestling. That's this whole show. It's like in between. Like there's like a match, a burlesque dancer, and then like a punk rock, and then a match. And like it's
You can see the fans
it's
of that all time.
lit-
together,
they're
though.
all
You
surrounding
really
the
can.
ring. And, like
Yeah.
there was 1,000 people this last time, and it was on my birthday. So I, the sweatshirt that I'm wearing currently is one of my top favorite bands called Masked Intruder. They are a punk rock band, and I absolutely adore them. And so I wrestled Eric Cannon that night, and then after my match, the guy came up to me and was like, "Hey, do you know our music?" I was like, "Oh my god, yes." And he was like, "What's that song that we sing with the girl part?" And I was like, "Okay, you're working me right now. I know you are. Like, you know the song of your own." Like, and I was like, "Heart-shaped guitar." He's like, "Yeah, that one. Do you want to sing it with us?" And I was like, "Yes." So I went out there, made an absolute fool out of myself, sang with them. And this is actually up on the internet if anybody wants to go ahead and look it up. Like,
All right.
it's Heidi Lovelace singing with masked intruders. This is a real thing that happened.
Oh, man.
But it was my birthday, so afterwards I told them, it's my birthday, buy me shots, to 1,000 people.
That's a great idea.
They all did. I ended up on the bathroom floor that night. Just ridiculous.
You have to.
Yeah, it was a blast, though. I had a great time, and it was like a dream come true for me. I've also danced on the stage with Nelly on my 21st birthday, which
Nelly?
is the weirdest
Nelly?
thing ever. Yep, that
You
happened.
big Nelly
I was
fan?
in Vegas.
What song was it?
It was, oh my God. I don't remember what the song is called. Oh, goodness. I can't remember what it was, but he grinded on me, and it was weird. But it was like, he pulled me up on stage, and we did this weird, like, walk competition, and, like, which girl could walk with the most confidence. I was already drunk, so, of course, I had the best liquid confidence
Yeah.
ever. And then I won the competition, and then he grinded on me, and it was real weird, and I went home.
Wow. Nelly.
That's on the internet, too, but that'll be harder to find.
Oh, we'll find it. And we will link it out in the post.
Look at Heidi.
Oh, my God. He's looking at pictures over here.
Look at
In
all
video.
punk rocker.
Let me see this. Let me see what you're looking at right now.
I'm looking at. You,
Oh God! Yeah, this
I'm
is the
gonna
thing.
Pause this. Look how grunge punk rocker she is.
Yeah, I am.
Fits right in.
Fit right in,
Yeah.
bro.
Did you
There you
rage
go.
against the machine?
Is Heidi still a rat or?
You son of a
Oh,
bitch.
boy.
Okay. I'm gonna do this on any podcast that I possibly can. I'm gonna bury Ethan Page
Oh
at
man.
any cost I
Ethan
possibly
Page
can.
just did a run
Ethan
in
Page,
instead
have
of
you
Eddie.
ever? Okay, really take a look real quick. Ethan Page has the biggest nipples in professional wrestling.
Even bigger than Claudia?
Like seriously, they might be biggest nipples in professional
Oh,
wrestling.
man.
I
not
hate
gonna
him.
be.
Actually, in reality, don't tell him I said this. One of my favorite people. One of my favorite people in pro wrestling, and I think he's one of the most underrated guys ever. But I still hate him. I still hate him.
He's been on the show.
Yeah.
He called
Nobody's
Scott Steiner.
Nobody will probably listen to it because
Yeah.
no one wants to listen to him talk.
We called Scott
He called
Steiner.
Scott Steiner.
He
with us.
called, like literally physically
We
called him.
We have
called-
his
yeah.
phone number. Yeah.
It's our bit.
So
we
we
call
had-
him every
So
show.
Ethan
we
left
call
him a
him.
voicemail.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
Great.
that's a thing.
Before we let you go,
Okay.
what else should we know about you, Heidi?
What else should you?
Someone that doesn't know who you are.
Are we
thing
talking
to
about
know.
wrestling? Or are we talking about real life?
How about both?
Both. Give
Wrestling.
us one of each.
Wrestling, things you should know about me. I will probably not be in this country very often this year.
Oh, really?
The goal is to hit England probably twice and to go back to Japan.
Yeah.
So I will probably be in the United States about the same amount that I will be out of the United
You'll
States.
still be here coming to Cleveland,
Yes,
obviously.
as often as I possibly can.
There you go.
But I do keep a very busy schedule, so please try. All you got to do is follow me on any kind of social media, which I'm sure you guys do, all that good stuff.
Yes.
But yeah, if you want to keep up with me and all that stuff, wrestling related, real life stuff. If anybody really wants to buy me a French bulldog, I want one really, really
French
bright.
bulldog?
They're so cute.
You can make an Amazon wish list like everybody else does.
But no, I
As
mean,
punk
with
rocker-
bulldogs on it, like live animals. I don't think that
I'm
happens.
sure you can. It's
I
Amazon.
don't think that's weird.
As punk rocker she wants to be.
listen.
She really is girly. with
Listen,
certain
okay,
things here.
I have this idea. For one, I love animals that are like have asymmetrical body types.
Okay.
So if they have big
Those
ears,
big ears.
and not like big or big paws,
Yeah.
and they get those scrunchy little face. I
Yeah.
love them. I love them so much. I follow probably more French bulldog like things on Instagram than I do actual people. But I want to get a boy French bulldog, and I want to name it Juventude, and call him Hoovy for short because I love the
Oh,
juice.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm the juice.
Juvie juice.
The most juiciest one, the most cutest one.
Well, I don't think we set that
the
up
juicy
here
one.
on the show. Get a bullet. We can set up maybe getting a pet bat.
What's the
We could
words?
probably do
Is there
that.
words I'm looking for? Yeah, go fuck yourself, because I will literally scream and cry.
There's
Like,
2 people in one interview that have told you to go fuck yourself.
happens.
listen.
Still on the record,
All I
though.
have to do is explain it like this. If you've ever seen the second Ace Ventura,
Yes.
where he is like
When Nature
it's-
Calls.
Yes, that one.
The bat. It's the bad one.
Bumblebee
I am.
tuna.
Yeah, I am that. I am that. Like
Oh,
they're
man.
the gangliest little rat like fucking faces. The worst.
Guano.
Ew, bro. Oh, guano, you.
You didn't like Chicago?
I hate bats. Literally, if I'm outside and something flies above a streetlight, I'll duck and cover. I'm not even kidding. That's how bad this. Because I'm afraid I'll end up in my hair or whatever, or just drink my blood.
Is
I
that
know
why
that's
you cut
not
your hair short,
accurate, but
really?
I don't care.
You
Is
know
that why
what?
cut-
I hate
You gotta
Batman.
get a
I don't even
girl.
like Batman.
You gotta get a girl that's gonna be Batgirl, the Batgirl
I'll
gimmick.
punch her right in the face.
There you go. There you go. Heidi, it's been a pleasure to have you on.
Thanks, guys.
You're always
I
here in
appreciate it.
Cleveland. I'm sure we'll have you on again this year.
Awesome. Sounds good.
Make sure to go to our website, thisisawesamewrestlingshow.com, for more interviews, to get a little bit of a transcript from the interview that you just heard with Heidi, and also past interviews. So thisisawesamewrestlingshow.com. Also, Twitter, TIA Wrestling on Twitter and Instagram, and also go on Facebook and like us on Facebook. So we're starting to post some news stories, starting to post some opinion stuff. Make sure to check out thisisawesamewrestlingshow.com. We appreciate all your support and all the engagement you guys give us throughout the week when you guys listen to the show. All right, let's get into it. We talked about Fastlane. We talked about our experiences there. Next night on Raw in Detroit, we saw the return of Shane McMahon here on the WWE, a guy that has been stepped away for wrestling, working on his own ventures, working on his own businesses worldwide. Offices still based in New York, but he is all over the world trying to get his own thing going. A guy that every WrestleMania year that people want him to come back, and this WrestleMania season so far has been lackluster when it comes to star power. So he does definitely add some star power, Steve. And right off the bat, he's going to be as of right now wrestling Undertaker, Hell in a Cell for the right to control Raw. Just behind the scenes stuff, it's rumored that he is only a on-air talent. He has no say in management, has no say in storylines, so he is just on the air. He obviously has his own businesses, so he can't be fully ingrained in WWE still.
We'll see. It could change.
Well, he can't be fully ingrained as of right now. He still has other businesses. He's going to be on TV for the coming months, obviously, with WrestleMania around the corner. But here's a guy that, like I said, he's trying to make his own mark outside of wrestling with TV streaming worldwide. I think it's Japan and China.
Yeah.
Over there. So he still is trying to get that off the ground. And obviously with WWE calling him a few weeks ago and meeting with his father Vince, that was the right time to bring him back. So I mean, it's great to have the high profile name. Have him in a match though, the way that he was sweating big time just doing his feet.
He was excited. He was pumped up. He's wearing a suit. Look, the Big Show sweats big time. Triple H sweats big time. Everybody sweats. The lights are bright. Everybody's sweating big time.
But he can't do the same spots that he did.
No,
12
absolutely
years ago.
not. And so, I mean,
But people are going to be.
I think
people are going to be looking for that.
Absolutely. Well, although, listen, he looked like he was in pretty good shape. I know it's hard to tell in a suit, but you can usually tell if a guy is in shape or not in shape, even if he's in a suit. And Shane O'Mac looked like he's still he's maybe even in better shape than what he was. Hell, I don't know. Maybe he's on DDP yoga. Business side, I could see him coming back on the business side too. We all know, if you've listened to the show, I love Shane O'Mac. For the year plus that we've had the show, I've said I would mark out for one person and one person only, and I absolutely was jumping up and down in my living room last night watching this happen. But I have been keeping tabs on this guy and his business ventures. So, I mean, I don't know, 6-7 months ago when I was reading about his venture in China, Shane, that's at the point where he was living in New York even more because he's got his kids and his family, and he wanted everybody to be home, so he didn't want to be over in China quite as much. Being a part of back into WWE kind of fits that mold, and the business venture, I guess, had taken enough ground that he's kind of able to step back. I think his title even changed at one point. He was like the VP or something, and now it's kind of a more exclusive role, so he's able to step back a bit. But, dude, I am so pumped that he is back. You know, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, whatever, we sat here, we had a debate, and you questioned, why would somebody even watch? Why do you watch every week? And I will tell you what, that is why. For the glimmering amount of hope, every time that something happens with the McMahons, and I know that somebody's going to interrupt, in my mind, Here Comes the Money hits. And last night, that happened again, and then it really hit, and it was awesome, and it was great. And between AJ Styles coming to WWE and Shane McMahon returning, those are the only two things I ever wanted from WWE in the last decade. So I think I'm done watching now, Glenmore.
Cool.
You can't top it.
Get a new co-host.
Get a new co-host. It was it not so fun to see him back though?
No, it was.
And the crowd reaction, genuinely one of the biggest crowd reactions I've seen come through my TV.
Yeah, it was great. Hopefully he's utilized to be effective.
And that's it, right? With both these guys. That's why I say I'm excited about AJ Styles. I'm excited about Shane. But then your mind immediately goes to, all right, can't drop the ball here.
Yeah. And with Shane being on-air talent, he's not part of creative. He's not in the meetings. He's only there to be on TV. So it's going to be a fact of, can creative give him the right script to work with, to give him the right kind of avenue to be effective on TV, to bring in ratings, and to be a part of Raw. And listen, if he's not the match, the Undertaker obviously is the latter part of his career. He can't go all out like he used to. Shane McMahon obviously is older. He can't be jumping off Hell in the Cell or doing any crazy spots. I'm sure he'll want to do it, but he's not going to be jumping off a scaffold 45 feet in the air to landing on the Undertaker. It's not going to happen. But for it to be in control of Raw, Mike, it kind of doesn't make sense, because why would the Undertaker side with McMahon and fight for McMahon? Why would that happen?
It's corporate ministry, baby. I don't know.
And why would my thing is, if I'm predicting this, Shane's not going to be wrestling. He's going to pick somebody.
Right.
He's going to put, kind of, be pulling Vince's arm a little bit next, 4 or 5 weeks, and maybe possibly picking someone to wrestle in his place. And you're going to have Vince on one side with the Undertaker, even though I don't know why the Undertaker would let Vince be on his side. Something has to happen with that to make sense. And then you have Shane picking his guys. So you have Vince and Shane outside of Hell in the Cell with the two guys inside for control of Raw. But Triple H is like a COO or whatever he is, his official on air, on talent handle. And you have Stephanie. Why wouldn't Triple H want to defend the honor of being in charge of Raw? Why would the authority
because he's
not
the
be
champ
involved?
right now. I know.
But it doesn't make sense.
Right, you unfortunately have to separate him because he's in his own little rivalry. I mean, we could be headed to a brand split.
Well, let's not throw anything out there like that. But I mean, it's
fun to throw out there. That's what this is all about, coming up with different things. And
well,
we have no idea. We'll find out in 6 what happens.
Yeah.
If Shane loses at WrestleMania, or his participating party, I mean, that doesn't matter. It's obsolete anyway. Could you see a storyline where, because you questioned why is the Undertaker even with Vince, could you see an angle where the Undertaker actually determines he's kind of siding with Shane, and it's the Undertaker and Shane versus the authority, and Vince has got to pick somebody to defend his honor instead?
I mean, like I said, 6 weeks away. If I had to bet, I would not say Shane's going to be wrestling at WrestleMania.
I wouldn't either. How old is he, 46?
Yeah, he's 40, 45, 46.
Yeah, I mean...
And he's been out of the ring for, his last match was probably, against DX in 2006 probably. So that's 10 years he's been out of the ring.
Oh, yeah.
So that's a long time.
There's being in shape and there's being...
For not being a wrestler.
In wrestling shape, yes.
He's not a wrestler. So
yes.
He never was a wrestler.
And doing those spots is... Can't be doing those all the time.
So, I mean, a lot of things can happen. That's why I'm not getting too excited about it, because I want to see how it plays out. The initial reaction is great. It's cool to bring in some ratings, but I want to see how it plays out for the card and for the next 5 weeks, see what happens. Because, we can get a huge pop because he comes back, but if you don't utilize it and he does wrestle and it's shitty and doesn't really have an effect, then it's not worth it.
Don't poo-poo on everything, Glenmore. Have some fun with the ride, buddy. I do appreciate the fact.
Being serious.
I appreciate and respect the fact that his promo that he cut when he came out there, that, because you have to look at this as being WWE, that they acknowledge the fact, stock and ratings have both been lackluster in however many time frame.
Yeah.
That's big for them. I mean, I know it's always art imitating life for them, but for the giant of the business to say, hey, we're struggling, and publicly acknowledging that on their flagship, kudos to them.
It was interesting that Vince did drop the F-bomb
Yeah.
on TV for the live crowd. They edited it out, obviously, dumped it, edited it out of the YouTube clip that they post, but a lot of live videos out there of Vince dropping the F-bomb, which probably could have been for show and for the intensity of the action, but also it could be Vince loves to swear too, so he could have just slipped it out and trusted Kevin Dunn to dump it out. But
they dumped out pretty much a whole blotch of whatever he was saying right there.
yeah, so like I said, I'm happy that he's back, but I want to see it utilized in the best interest of entertainment. So,
absolutely.
So we'll see how it plays out with Shane McMahon back on TV, and that's where we'll wrap the show up for this week. Thanks to Heidi Lovelace for joining us on the show. Thanks to AIW for letting us come up in the locker room and set up and be a part of the show, interviewing some of the AIW superstars and wrestlers. So we appreciate AIW. This is going on our second year being a part of AIW and going to their shows and providing some interviews for you with some of the stars that come through Cleveland every month. Make sure to check out AIW online, AIWrestling.com. They got a show coming up next weekend, and also 2 weeks after that, another show. The one is in Menor that comes up later next week, and then back at in Cleveland 2 weeks from then. So AIWrestling.com, AI Wrestling on Twitter. Make sure to check them out. Support independent wrestling. And make sure to go to our website. This is AwesomeWrestlingShow.com is the site if you want to check out our shows, interviews, everything. You can also comment and provide feedback to the show on Twitter at TIA Wrestling. Also Instagram. Let's get our Instagram followers up. TIA Wrestling is the handle for both Twitter and Instagram. Also, we're on Facebook. So plenty of avenues to follow us and get involved, get engaged with the show. And we have some great interviews coming up next week. Tyson Dukes will be joining the show, and he will be talking about his career, his little run in WWE, and much, much more. So thanks to Heidi for coming on the show, and look forward to Tyson coming on the show and providing an interview with you. So we'll talk to you guys next week. This is Awesome Wrestling Show. See you later.